So, you've probably heard the backstory from PeachTube's YouTube channel talking about how he got into Acceleracers, or more specifically, me and him got into Acceleracers because we both got into it at the same time. You heard his side of the story. Now you're going to be able to hear my side, which is the real side, the honest truth. What really happened, how we found Acceleracers, and how it became one of the most amazing things in our childhood and still holds a place in our hearts today. So let's get started. Drive to Survive. I tell the real story. Hello, and welcome back to my world. I am Dynamite, and it is time for a new segment called Story Time with the Alpha. Baby. This is going to be part of my Dynamite Q&A playlist, so yeah. It's not a Q&A video, it's a story time video. So you want to know how I got into Acceleracers? You really want to know? You want to know how I got these scars? And while you're watching me, up in the corner of the screen, you'll be enjoying some Forza Horizon 4 gameplay where I'm playing with my Acceleracers cars. Because why not? It makes sense, right? Me and Jalen, mainly me, would go to this thing called SAS. It was basically the Boys and Girls Club, but with a different name. And Dad came to pick me up, and he needed to go to the Power Zone store. You guys remember that Power Zone store? Like one of my all-time favorite stores as a kid. So he picked me up. We drove there, and we got to the Power Zone store. He needed to pick up something. I told him I was going to go near the video games, so he knew where I was. It was a small store, and every time we went there, me and Jalen would always go towards the video games to see what they got on the racks. And there was this little TV in the corner of the screen, and there was a PlayStation or a Wii, whichever one they had, and you could play the game, get a little test drive of what the game is. I gotta do it all the time. I go play. There's some computer games there too. I went to PlayStation. So I'm walking down the aisle to the games, and then my eyes were wandering around the store because, you know, kids do that a lot. And I turned my head slightly, and I saw something on the rack. Didn't notice it at first. Then I stopped. Yeah, and then I stopped. And then I walked backwards. I shifted my gear in reverse. And I just happened to stumble upon Hot Wheels Acceleracers Ignition, the first movie. And I was like, what in the world is this? I saw two cars, the Hot Wheels logo, and a green monster on the front of the cover. That's a movie to me right there as a kid. The big green monster from the swamp realm. He looked disgusting, so I picked up the movie while also seeing two cool looking cars. And the Hot Wheels logo. I was like, whoa, what is this? I've never seen this before. I looked at it for a while, and then I turned to the back of it, and I was looking more at the pictures and the words, which really ties into what I'm going to tell you later. I was so amazed by what I found, I had to go show it to Dad. So he was there in the electronics aisle, picking up whatever it is he was looking for. I showed it to him. He's like, what's this? I was like, it's a Hot Wheels TV show. I thought it was a TV show. And then he looked at the case, and he's like, this is a movie. I was like, oh, really? How do you know? It said movie on the back of the cover. Like I said, I wasn't reading the words. I was looking at the pictures of the cool cars. So can we get it? That's what it was like for me as a kid. Can you get it? Dad knew how important Hot Wheels was to me and Jalen. We loved it. It was like our favorite toy growing up. I still have Hot Wheels cars to this day. Not even gonna lie. They're just sitting there on the TV stand, but that's another story for another time. So he bought the movie alongside with whatever it is he bought, because apparently he found something. And immediately when I got home, I started looking for Jalen. And ironically, he was in the living room sitting on the couch watching TV with Mom. I was like, Jalen, check this out! I showed him the movie that Dad bought, and he was like, whoa, what is this? I was like, I don't know! It's a Hot Wheels movie. We gotta go play this or watch it, whatever. We have no idea what we were in store for. We had no idea what the movie was about. As we were looking at it, we figured out that I don't know. I really don't know. But in our minds, whatever. Jalen said, what if this has something to do with Hot Wheels World Race? I was like, I thought that actually because of the Hot Wheels logo on the front of the cover. That was the first thought that went through my head. Not even gonna lie. And then he was like, and then I was like, how do you know? What do you think? What do you mean? Where's the evidence? He's like, it's just a thought. So we started nibbling around in our minds, and then we were like, I asked him if he remembers any of the characters from the movie. All he remembered from there was Taro, Kurt, and Vert. That's it. I remember like a few extras. Like there was Kadeem and there was Dan Dresden in my mind there too. I'm surprised I even remembered the guy's name, let alone what he looked like. Because I was more focused on the cars in that movie. Anyway, we were talking about the characters and we were like, okay, if they are in the movie, then it's got to be after the world race. Like what, 2 years maybe, 3 years? I don't know. We had no idea how long it's been since that world race in the movie. We put it in our PlayStation because you know the PlayStation 2 can play movies. We popped that shit right in there and we were excited. And then it was made by Warner Brothers, you know the little thing. Warner Brothers logo animation there. It was like, hey, this movie was made by Warner Brothers. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed the little jingle, my bad. So then, so the movie started. We pressed play. We were like, what is this? And as we were watching it, there's just a car just, we had no idea what was going on. Then we saw a car that was gray and purple just falling from the sky. It was a green city, green car, green robots. A big white flash. Some guy fell from the sky just out of nowhere. He hit the ground very hard. We saw a snake. I was like, oh, that snake's gonna get that guy. But it didn't. I was kind of upset about that. I wanted to see what that would look like. So the guy turned around and he was like, oh my god, it's Dr. Tesla. And then the robot came up and Jay was like, it's Gig. We had no idea what was going on, dude. But we knew that was Tesla and Gig, and we knew it had to do something with the world race. And then the intro of the movie really started. The racing drone music started playing. It's a kick-ass song. They have a kick-ass theme song. They really do. So then the title sequence of the movie, and then Mark Wilde. We had no idea that was Marky until Kurt called him that. He's like, the name is Wild. Me and Jalen looked at each other. We were like, isn't that his last name? Oh. Fast forward, we get to seeing the Teku over there on the coastline. We see Bert and Kurt. We were like, oh my god, dude, this has to do something with the world race. It's got to be after the world race. Everybody's all grown up, I think. They look taller. I think Bert got taller. And then we saw Nolo, and we were like, who's this guy? And then he said, I was driving before I could drive. Bert Wheeler said, what does that even mean? And I was like, what does that mean? I don't know, too. And then he said Teku. He was like, where's Teku? I was like, where's the Wave Rippers? Where's the Wave Rippers? Where's the Scorchers? I love the 5 teams in World Race. And then we found out that not everybody from the World Race was there, and the race was split into 2 teams and stuff like that. It was great. I was enjoying it. So then the race between Torque and Nolo started, and as it was starting, we saw Synchro for the first time. We got a glimpse of our first car, like fully viewed, like got to look at it. Jalen fell in love with Synchro straight away. Like he loved it. He loved the color. He loved the look of the car. He loved how cool it was with the lights under it. Jalen loved everything about Synchro. It's his favorite Acceleracers car to this day. He wants it as a dream car. Well, at least he did when he was a kid. I don't know if he still wants it now, but he's got a car in GTA that has the Synchro colors. So anyway, the race between Torque and Nolo started. It was grooving, and the music started playing. We were like, oh, we like this music. We were enjoying the movie, man. Gig shows up. Burt Wheeler mentions the world race, and then our theory was correct. It was after the world race. These events were happening after the world race. We don't know how much time passed, but there were some new characters, and we were like, okay, a long time must have passed. It could have been months or years to us. It could have been 2 days. It really could have been 2 days. Seriously. Fast forward in the middle of the movie, or the quarter half of it, we see Kadeem again. And whoa, he got tall. And Kadeem is great. I love Kadeem. I love his car. Crazy 8s. And then the racing round start, the storm round was pretty dope. What happened to Kadeem was pretty tragic. And as the movie continued to play, me and Jalen got more and more interested in it. Even the part where Bert's car split in half. We thought he was dead. I thought he was dead. I'm not gonna lie. If Bert did die, that would have been terrible. Because Bert's my favorite character. And Kurt Wilde is a close second. Fast forward again to the movie. They're working on the cars. We were seeing some new cars. I saw Power Range. I looked at Jalen and I was like, that's it. That's the dream car. And I was like, that's better than that little gold car that Nolo has. Working on the car. And then I saw Battle Spec, which is number 2 on the list. Power Range being number 1. Can't beat Power Range. So music starts playing in general though. Scirocco's music. We were enjoying it. Karma said Scirocco. We looked at each other like, who's Scirocco? This guy over here looking all cool and shit just pops out of the car. And yo, let's pump up the bass line. Which is probably the greatest line ever from that movie. Not just Ignition, the entire franchise. Scirocco then became like my favorite Acceleracers character. Vert is my favorite Hot Wheels character, just all time, like one of my favorite cartoon characters ever. But Scirocco was just right up there. The guy was just so cool. He didn't care about anything. He only cared about his look, his car, and his music. He was so serious about those 3 things, he did not care about winning a race. He did not care about the drones. He just cared about driving and looking good while he was doing it. That's probably the greatest street racer you can ever have. That type of person is unpredictable when it comes to a street race. You don't know if he or she's gonna win. You don't know if he or she's gonna take it seriously. You don't know what he or she is going to do next. And that's the type of racing I like to do. You say that person sucks, but then that person could leave you in the dust and lap you 1 or 2 times. And then you're like, huh? Get to about halfway through the movie, the swamp realm starts to begin. Pork Chop shows up. Me and Jalen were like, who is this? And why is he so huge? It was a good time. Pork Chop was hilarious. Him and Monkey together is just funny. So they get into the swamp realm. The music playing. It was great. I think the swamp realm had to have been me and Jalen's favorite part in that movie. Everybody went their separate ways. There were so many tracks and paths you could have taken. You don't know what was going to happen. You don't know what was going to pop up. You don't know who was lurking in the shadows. You could have been attacked by a racing drone, or you could have been swarmed by a giant mosquito, or a disgusting slug, or that giant green monster could have grabbed you and ate you. He could have done that. No, he decided to rip a drone in half with his foot and grab a drone jet and smash it into another car, into the ground. He could have easily ate one of those guys. He could have ate a human or a robot. I wanted to eat him. I wanted to see him eat another monster in the swamp realm. See Scirocco just driving, cruising. He gets picked up by a mosquito, and then when he escapes, he's still cruising around like he's in the city. Like, the dude doesn't care. Hyperpods show up, and we're like, ooh, these are cool. Nolo won the swamp realm, and from that day forward, Nolo became Jalen's favorite character in that entire franchise. Jalen thought Nolo was so cool. He wanted his car. I think Jalen wanted Nolo's jacket as well. Quite frankly, I wanted Nolo's jacket too, just not that color scheme. I wanted it to be red and white. We've seen all 4, by the way, multiple times. And the only other person I know that likes this movie franchise other than Jalen is my friend Tyrell, who is also a YouTuber, I think. The end of the movie hits. Galorm was the last one to get the line. The credits start to roll. Me and Jalen looked at each other with our jaws dropped because we watched an amazing movie and we wanted to see it again, but we wanted to know if there was another movie. Like, we wanted to know if there was a second one. And I think the year was maybe 2006 or 7 at the time. So there was definitely another one, because most of these movies, like, I'm pretty sure the second Acceleracers movie came out in 2005. The special features hit, and it said Virtual Car Gallery, and we were like, whoa, what is this? And then we got to see all the cars, the Teku, the Metal Maniacs, the racing drones, and then this other thing called Silencers. And we look at each other like, what are the Silencers? And I was like, I don't know. It said Meet the Drivers, the Acceleracers, the Encyclopedia, everything. It was awesome. We looked at Dad, and we're like, is there another one? And then immediately Jalen looked at me and was like, was there another movie in there? And I'm like, no, Acceleracers was the only, Ignition was the only one I saw. There was no like second and third or fourth or fifth, whatever. I don't even know if there is a third, second, fourth, whatever. We were kind of disappointed until we went to Dad and asked him to look it up. He didn't do it. And that's the backstory. Thank you for joining me with this story time with the Alpha. This is pretty fun. This is great. I have to do it again. Next time, I'll tell you guys how I got into professional wrestling. Now that is going to be a great story. Until then, drive to survive, and be sure to subscribe to the World of Dynamite. Go ahead and click on that subscribe button right down there, and if you enjoyed this video, feel free to click on that like button. Leave a comment too. But remember though, I don't care about subscribers and stuff like that. I just love editing videos. So that'll probably affect my chances, but then again, I'm not doing this for money. I'm doing this because I love it. And if you want to go check out Jalen's Acceleracers videos of GTA with him and his friends, go click on this. Until next time, the Alpha will catch you later. Peace!